Coming up on the Hilton Head News, Darius Rucker did more than sing on Hilton Head Island. He brought together some of the top women's golfers to play in a 3-day tournament at Long Cove Club over the weekend. Also, we'll take you to the Wine and Food Festival at the Coastal Discovery Museum at Honeyhorn. Stand by, the Hilton Head News is next. Welcome to the Hilton Head News. I'm Allie McNair. A priest with ties to Hilton Head Island has been placed on administrative leave after an allegation of sexual misconduct was made against him. Church officials with the Diocese of Charleston say they're cooperating with investigators who are reviewing an allegation against Father Hayden Viverick. Authorities say someone told police last week that Viverick assaulted the person about 15 years ago when he was a pastor of Our Lady of Lourdes in Greenwood. During his career, Viverick has served in numerous parishes and schools in South Carolina. In 2007, he was the parish priest at Holy Family Catholic Church on Hilton Head Island. Authorities say Viverick was in Rome when the allegation was made. The Diocese of Charleston's website lists a New York City address for Father Viverick, and the Catholic Near East Welfare Association website identifies Father Viverick as a member of its development office. 15 women's college golf teams were on Hilton Head Island last weekend to play in the second annual Darius Rucker tournament at Long Cove Club. Spanish native Noemi Jimenez, a sophomore at Arizona State University, won the individual title in the tournament. She spoke about what part of the Long Cove course best suited her game.
I think the greens, I really like the greens. So I think my putter was just fantastic this week. It was the best thing. So even though I didn't hit I didn't have a very long game the first day, I knew how to find the way to do chip and putts or how to do birdies when I was in the green. So that was pretty good.
Jimenez said she felt comfortable playing golf and enjoyed spending time here on Hilton Head Island.
I think it's a very good place. I mean, I really like the place. It reminds me to Spain because of the trees and the ocean. So it was very good. It was like being at home. So it was good.
The overall team winner of the Darius Rucker Intercollegiate Tournament for the second year in a row was Alabama, helped by Stephanie Meadow, who was third in the tournament and last year's individual winner. Earlier last week, all of the teams were treated to a concert by their name sponsor, Darius Rucker. Rucker performed at the Arts Center of Coastal Carolina on Thursday evening, not only for the players, but for sponsors, supporters, and organizers of the event as well. The 28th annual Hilton Head Island Wine and Food Festival was held on Saturday at the Coastal Discovery Museum at Honeyhorn. Later on the Hilton Head News, Orchid, who is the host of the restaurant show on WHHI-TV, will have more from the Wine and Food Festival. Here's a look at what's happening around the region. The State Department of Motor Vehicles may give some drivers with suspended licenses a second chance. The DMV says it may lift or shorten suspensions for drivers who meet all the conditions of their punishment, pay all fees, and make sure insurance is filed. The drivers must complete an eligibility form and visit a DMV office this week. Some of the suspensions covered in the program include underage drivers suspended for excessive points or those whose licenses were suspended for operating an uninsured vehicle. Well, wild hogs and coyotes in South Carolina won't have a better chance at surviving during nighttime hours for the next several months. That's because hundreds of hunters have registered to shoot the animals during the first week of legal night hunting for them. The night hunting season continues now through July. Licensed hunters don't need to apply for permits, but they do need to notify the Department of Natural Resources 48 hours before they plan to hunt on a specific property. It's hoped the notification will help law enforcement officers who get reports of gunfire after dark. A Florida man has died after being shot by a fellow hunter in Greenwood County. According to investigators, 51-year-old Robert Eastland Jr. was shot in the chest around 9 in the morning on Saturday. Authorities say Eastland was with a group of hunters who separated after going into the woods. A Department of Natural Resources spokesperson says 25-year-old Lucas Brickweg of Satellite Beach, Florida, told them he heard something from his tree stand and fired. Brickweg is charged with criminal use of a firearm and no hunting license. Well, South Carolina 7th graders will be rolling up their sleeves for a vaccination come this fall. The Department of Health and Environmental Control is requiring that all students entering the 7th grade be up to date on the vaccine that protects against whooping cough. The cases of whooping cough have spiked statewide. The highly contagious respiratory disease can be fatal, and it's most dangerous to infants. Well, counterfeit pills and purses were seized at a Columbia, South Carolina warehouse last week. Officials say on Friday they uncovered the bogus prescription drugs that were going to be passed off as erectile dysfunction medications Viagra and Cialis. The raid also yielded counterfeit goods from China that were knockoffs of Coach, Prada, Ray-Ban, and Golf Pride. Now, when we come back, we'll get the stories behind the headlines from Lynn Hummel of the Hilton Head Sun. Also had two candidates running in the crowded field to fill the 1st District congressional seat. They'll tell us why they think you should vote for them in the upcoming primary race. Stay right there.
The Hilton Head Humane Association is dedicated to providing a safe haven for cats and dogs, caring for 2,500 abandoned, injured, and abused animals in the past year alone. Visit WHHHumane.org to see the current pets in need of forever homes, including this Pet of the Month, plus learn about upcoming adoption events and even donate online. You can also find them on Facebook, plus visit in person from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. daily. Donate, adopt, volunteer, and make a difference at the Hilton Head Humane Association.
With the stories behind the headlines, Lynn Hummel joins me now from the Hilton Head Sun. Hi, Lynn.
Hi, Allie. How are you?
Great, thank you. Hey, tell us about the town purchase of a large tract of land that has occurred inside Port Royal Plantation.
Will do. Hilton Head Town Council voted last week to buy about 102 acres inside Port Royal for $5 million. Now, this is the largest single purchase that the town has made since it started buying up property, and the first significant purchase since it bought Honeyhorn in 1990. The acreage includes a significant portion of the Planters Row golf course, and it runs about 1,500 feet alongside William Hilton Parkway. Mayor Drew Laughlin says that this is an incredible opportunity and a good value that has potential to meet future needs of the island.
And any specific plans for that land?
You know, there are no plans just yet, and in fact the town will lease this property back to the Heritage Golf Group, which owns and manages all the golf courses in Port Royal, for at least 2 years.
Well, no one ever likes to hear a bill is going up, but that's going to be the case with cable bills. Both companies tell us why.
That's right. Both Hargray and Time Warner have started increasing their cable and internet rates for some customers, saying that costs of programming and for infrastructure upgrades are going up. The increases are part of a nationwide trend, and both companies say that they simply must pass along some of these costs to the customers. Now, some Hargray customers will be paying about $5 more per month starting in April, and some Time Warner customers will start seeing about a 3% increase next month, or I'm sorry, starting this month. Both companies, however, say that this is just a fraction of their customers who will be affected, which would be those who do not have part of or not part of the bundling plan with cable and internet services.
Well, you are celebrating St. Patrick's Day here on Hilton Head News with the wearing of the green.
Yes.
Tell us about the annual Hilton Head Island St. Patrick's Day Parade.
Be glad to. This is the 30th anniversary Hilton Head Island St. Patrick's Day Parade presented by iSelect MD. And some of the highlights are going to be a Founders Float, which will be led by founder Tom Riley. The world famous Budweiser Clydesdale horses are coming back, the U.S. Marine Corps Band, and Nashville recording star Michelle Murray, who actually is a hometown girl. She used to live here on Hilton Head. We'll also have high school bands, pipe and drum corps, Irish dancers, and the list just goes on and on.
What about any tips as far as parking goes, Lynn, or best places to watch?
Okay, the parade steps off at 3 p.m. on Pope Avenue, and anywhere along Pope Avenue would be great to watch. As for parking, it's always kind of dicey and challenging, but look for parking places around businesses that are closed on Sunday, maybe churches who are out of church, and banks.
Lynn Hummel with the Hilton Head Sun. As always, great having you on the Hilton Head News, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Allie.
Well, the special primary election for the 1st Congressional District seat in South Carolina takes place March 19th. The Republican race is absolutely packed. One of those running for the seat is Jonathan Hoffman. He is an attorney and served President George W. Bush as Director of Border Security Policy. Thanks for coming in, Jonathan Hoffman.
Well, thank you for having me here this morning.
Well, it was interesting. We've gotten in the habit here at the station of asking people who are coming in what it is they'd like to talk about. One thing you mentioned was working to secure borders and ports in the 1st District. Talk about that if you would.
Well, I had the fortunate experience working for President Bush at a time when we, after 9/11, when we worked really hard to secure our borders in an effort to get comprehensive immigration reform done. And a lot of the work we did on doubling the size of the Border Patrol, deploying 6,000 National Guard troops, building 600 miles of border fencing, deploying E-Verify across the federal government. A lot of those things I worked on, it was a good opportunity to feel successful and actually feel like you're making a difference in securing the country.
What about the sequester? It has happened. We're in the midst of it now. What's your reaction?
It's unfortunate. We do have to cut our spending, and I think I would hope most of the candidates in this race would agree with that we do have to cut our spending. The problem with it is the tool being used crams the cuts, a year of cuts, into a 6-month period, and specifically with regard to the DoD cuts. The military, this is a military community with Parris Island and the Marine Corps Air Station. They don't plan on 6-month budgets. You can't cut their budget halfway through the year. They plan on 3-4-year cycles, and those cuts have a real impact. And so that's not how you want to treat a military, and at the same time, that's not how a government should operate.
Is it then just an issue where we have Republicans and Democrats just not willing to compromise, to work across the island? Do you see yourself operating in a fashion where you'd be able to do that?
Well, I think it's important to realize that as a congressman, you're not just a yes or no vote. There's actually a lot more that goes into being a member of Congress. There's the ability to negotiate, there's the ability to empathize and work with your opponents on coming to agreement. And I've often said in this campaign, one of the problems we face right now is there's this effort by a lot of Republicans and a lot of Democrats to vilify their opponents. And once you start vilifying your opponents and you labeling them as you've heard where they'll say, well, so-and-so is a terrorist, or they're holding the budget hostage, or they're going to throw grandma off the cliff, or whatever. Once you start doing that, it's really difficult to actually have a meaningful conversation to actually get change done. And that's not the type of person I am. I'm not going to be vilifying my opponents. I'm going to be working with them and trying to convince them and their constituents that maybe their views just aren't right and there's a better path. We
are almost out of time, but before we let you go, why is it that people should vote for you?
Well, there's only 2 candidates in this race that have real experience in Washington, and I'm one of those, and I would put my record of success in Washington working on tough issues like border and immigration security, working on natural disasters, working on other pressing issues up against Governor Sanford's record any day. I believe that I'm the most accomplished in getting things done there, and looking to the opportunity I've enjoyed public service, and I'm looking for the opportunity to go back to Washington and serve this district and serve this community in that capacity.
Well, Jonathan Hoffman, candidate for the 1st Congressional District seat, Republican side here in South Carolina, thank you for joining us on the Hilton Head News.
Well, thank you for having me.
As we've mentioned, primary day for the 1st District congressional seat is March 19th. Running in the Republican primary, joining us now, former State Senator John Kuhn. Thank you for coming in, Senator.
Oh, thank you. It's so great to be here.
Well, I'm curious, why did you decide to run?
Well, I know that we've got to get a congressman up in Washington, D.C. that's really going to fight the spending. And, a lot of people talk about how they're going to do it, but they don't really do it when they get up there. And I was fortunate enough to be a state senator for Charleston and Berkeley counties from 2001 to 2004. And when I was up in the state Senate, I worked very hard to actually fight the spending. And I went so far as to filibuster a $250 million bond bill that would have put the taxpayers of South Carolina on the hook for frivolous spending and borrowing. And no senator was willing to step up to the plate 10 years ago and filibuster the bill or even stand up against it. Governor Mark Sanford was not willing to stand up against the bill, but I was willing to take the podium and filibuster for 17 hours straight to kill the bill. And that's what I do. I mean, I stand up for the taxpayer Just like Rand Paul has stood up for our rights, I stand up against this spending. Most of these people who talk about it that are running really won't. They'll sell out to the leadership and really won't do what we need. And that's why I'm running, because I know that I have an opportunity to really serve and help people.
Well, you mentioned Governor Mark Sanford, former governor, and he is, by most accounts, ahead in the polls. Close in that second and third position are you and Chip Limehouse, according to some of your polling. What do you say to people? Why should they pick you instead of Chip Limehouse?
Well, the big difference is I have a law practice here in Bluffton that I opened 5 years ago, and I am here all the time. I have done over 200 seminars on estate planning, wills and trusts and probate for free for the public, and we advertise, and we've got an attorney here and a staff here, and I make a living here, and as your county goes, as Beaufort County goes, so goes my livelihood. So I am here all the time, and you have an opportunity to elect congressman, and I need to be in second place with Mark to be in the runoff instead of Chip Limehouse. And if that happens, you know your congressman will be here all the time, because I'm making a living here. I really care about you. I really care about Beaufort County. I'm here all the time, and it's beautiful, and I love it here, and we work hard here, and I'm part of the community, and I want to be able to represent you. It would be an honor.
Well, former State Senator John Kuhn, we want to thank you for joining us on the Hilton Head News. We appreciate your time.
Thank you, Allie. It's just a great pleasure to be here, and thank you.
Beaufort Town Center, the perfect place to live, work, play, and shop. Uniquely located on Boundary Street, Beaufort Town Center is adjacent to city and county government buildings at the entrance of Beaufort's historic district. This new urban town center seamlessly blends lodging, office space, retail, restaurant, and residential sites with pristine views of the Intercoastal Waterway. Let the executives at Beaufort Town Center assist you with any of your real estate and leasing needs. Call today at 843-521-9000.
This weekend at the Coastal Discovery Museum at Honeyhorn, it was the Wine and Food Festival, and there to tell us all about it, Orchid Paul-Meyer.
Hi everyone, welcome to the 2013 Hilton Head Island Wine and Food Festival. This is a great event going on. We've got the gourmet stage, a fantastic artisanal row, waiters race, which you will see some people hustling with a full glass of wine. And then of course we've got the Grey Goose Bartenders Challenge. So this is Gary. He is the head guy over there at the Wise Guys.
I'm that guy.
Yeah, you're that guy?
Wise Guys is serving a beef short rib ragu.
Oh my gosh, it looks delicious.
Rear fondito is what it's called.
Oh,
yeah, it's a little bit mashed potatoes, some garlic, and grilled cheese.
While you're talking. All right.
Comes with scallions. Absolutely. Take a little bite out of that. Fresh and hot.
And what is that? That looks
Frankie Bones mixing up their meatball sliders, of course. Comes with a little bit of fresh ricotta or ricotta, depending on what part of the country you're from.
I say ricotta.
Fresh baked rolls. Always a favorite.
And come visit Gary and his great crew, all right?
Thank y'all. See you soon.
And I am with a dear friend, Chef South from Karama's. You are obviously putting out some beautiful food right here. What is this?
Oh, thank you very much. This is called spicy tuna sashimi.
Spicy tuna sashimi,
yeah,
okay.
It's the tuna and avocado marinated in the hot sauce that we mix here. And that is a lotus root.
Lotus root?
Exactly. You slice it and deep fry it.
Mmm. This is a great venue for some new food that you want to try. And imagine you've got Chef back here also cooking up the hibachi. It's fantastic. Woo! We're having a great time here at the Hilton Head Food and Wine. And make sure you come out. Check out Karama's while you're on the island. We've got some good stuff, and I'm already seeing pickles food here.
Yeah, it's from our new restaurant, Carolina Cafe.
Carolina Cafe, okay.
Opened yesterday.
Beautiful new renovations. Come check out the new restaurant.
Check it out.
I am here with Ms. Kim Keppel. She is one of the owners of Black Marlin and Skull Creek Courthouse. You are hosting the after party for Food and Wine, right?
We certainly are. Enjoy the after party with Cranford and Sons playing music.
Oh, that's awesome. They're going to jam out.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
And we're here at Skull Creek Boathouse. We always like to remember once a month we have our full moon parties. The weather's warmed up finally here on Hilton Head, and we look forward to having our decks open and serving our customers.
Grand champion of all champions right here, Benton from Marley's Island Grill, located at the south end of the island. All right, buddy, what did you win today?
Today I got first place in the Bartenders Challenge.
Oh, the Grey Goose Bartenders Challenge. It's a very big event.
It is. It's huge. I mean, blackberry sage lemonade.
Forget about it. It's a winner.
It is unbelievable. It's to die for.
Cheers.
Cheers.
And And thanks to Orchid for bringing us that wine and food festival. And here with some great ideas as to what to do on Hilton Head Island, Nancy Watts joins me on the Hilton Head News. Hi, Nancy.
Hi there.
Well, you've got some thoughts with regards to the bottlenose dolphins on our coast. Tell us about that.
And you know, the weather's getting warmer, and it's a good time to be out on the water. And you want, and those dolphins are there just jumping up and down and having a wonderful time. But if you want to learn more about what you're looking at when you see those baby dolphins and those mothers and dads, there's a great show or a good program at the Coastal Discovery Museum. In fact, there are two. There's one this week, and then there's one later in the month if you missed this one.
Yeah, and apparently now they're going to be showing people how to throw cast nets. Is that right, too, at another program?
Yes. Have you ever tried to throw a cast net without?
No, I haven't, but I heard it's not all that easy.
No, I have. I've watched. I do very well at watching, but I'm not taking a chance on throwing my
the cast net.
Yes, the cast nets are tricky.
Well, here's something you or I could do maybe, and that's a run or walk. It's a 5K. It's a shamrock run or a 5K. That's going to be Saturday, right?
It is Saturday, and do you know, and I have worked that before, and I have not run it, God help me, but I have actually worked, and there are mothers out there with their baby strollers, and there are little tiny children that just walk right along and have a wonderful time. And it's very nice. The weather's not bad, and
you can wear green, which is always fun.
Oh, that is great too. And it's down a pretty path. And then when you get through, you get to have food to eat and pizza over at New York City Pizza.
That's right, because that's where I think the race starts. And Barefoot Sports, right? That's who you check in with if you want more info.
That's true.
Okay, shamrock hunting. Well, I've heard of the Easter egg hunt. I never knew there was such a thing as a shamrock hunt.
The Salty Dog's been doing that now for a long time, and I think that is such fun. And instead of finding Easter eggs, you find shamrocks. And the shamrocks have little prizes that you can win, and your children will just love it. Plus, they'll find T-shirts and all kinds of good things.
Well, that sounds like fun, too, and we can't let you go without telling us about the parade here on Hilton Head Island for St. Patrick's Day.
Oh, my goodness. You know, of course, it's the 17th, and the 17th is Sunday. We don't get to have St. Patrick's Day on a Sunday, really Sunday, very often. And of course, Savannah refuses to have one on Sunday because of their, well, whatever reasons they have. But nevertheless, it's a good, you will have a good time. Bring your children, bring a chair, bring a blanket, bring whatever you'd like to have to sit on so your kids will be comfortable. And just come and wear green and look forward to all kinds of entertainment.
Well, Nancy Watts, as always, we want to thank you so much for letting us know where to go on Hilton Head Island. Thank you.
We love it here, and we want you to love it too.
And we thank you for watching this edition of the Hilton Head News. I'm Allie McNair. We'll see you the next time.